Thanks for joining Equinoxe Television on our primetime newscast. We're live from our central news desk in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city, Equinoxe Central News Desk. If we are to go by the saying that where the road goes, development follows, then Babubok, a village in Bangem subdivision of the Kupe Maninguba southwest region of Cameroon, is obviously not a developed village. It's a village suffering from acute underdevelopment. The road to Babubok is a veritable nightmare. Martin Jikangebe takes us to the challenges of the people of these parts of the conflict-stricken southwest region of Cameroon. They have been suffering these to senior administrative officials and elites of the locality have yielded no fruit this far.
It is a veritable nightmare for passengers leaving Bangem town to Babubok village under the Kupe Maninguba division of the southwest region. The journey here is mostly done by commercial motorcycle who also face difficulties plying the road. Equinoxe Television was fortunate to meet some mourners heading to Babubok village with the corpse of their loved one. For the commercial motorcycle to carry the corpse from Bangem to Babubok village, the family members paid 150,000 francs CFA. Even with that amount of money, the journey with the corpse wasn't an easy one for the bike rider. Along the road, the position of the casket will be changed to enable its easy movement on a very tough side of the road, even though some persons must be behind the casket to ensure that it doesn't fall off the commercial motorcycle.
Must only pass through this area.
We met a peg on the road which indicates it was supposed to have been done, but till now it is the population that are suffering. At Babubok, we hear a bottle of beer is 1,500 francs, while a crate is sold at 12,000 francs CFA. A sachet of whiskey is sold at 250 francs. This poor stretch of road doesn't affect only the people of Babubok village, but also those of Ndipsi, Eyandong, Jokte, Ela, and Balok villages. The people are calling on their so-called elites to come to their rescue, as the poor state of road is also making it difficult for them to transport their raw materials to Bangem town.
Down. Front. Yeah.
Local inhabitants call it a crisis within a crisis, but very keen observers think it is a time bomb. It is a problem of land and land saga in Limbe and the rest of the Fako division of the southwest region of Cameroon. We are focusing on the Bota land dispute. We've been on it for several editions of news on Equinoxe radio and television. The traditional officials of Bota village say that they have verified information that some people are issuing very fake land certificates and also authorizations for unscrupulous individuals to occupy the Bota land new layout in Limbe, chief town of the Fako. Charles Abane Ekome tells us more in the following report.
Following the Bota land saga in the opaque city of Limbe, Fako division of the restive southwest region, the scramble for the Bota land layout has recently brought to light fake site plans and fake location letters signed by some unscrupulous individuals trying to make a living off the site. It is for this reason that the chairman of the Bota land traditional council, Jemulungu Joseph, is denouncing the culprits after having made this macabre discovery and is equally urging the population to be extremely vigilant.
We have discovered those who are signing illegally. I have here in front of me an illegal site plan signed by Mr. Peter Mbongo Mutuma, Albert Bindi, and Mbaka Paul. I want to tell the public that this is purely illegal. all site plans, all location letters from Botaland layout must be signed by the chief of the village. What I am showing to the public here today is illegal.
According to the chairman, it should be noted that every person interested in land acquisition must pass through the chief of Botaland village in order to be legally covered.
And the problem of underdevelopment is a general problem in Cameroon from the northeast to the west and south. If we are to go by this very example, we are just watching a very disturbing report of the poor state of the roads in Bangem. It is in the Kupemaninguba of the southwest region, and inhabitants of Balum, another village in Penka Michel, a subdivision in the Menua of the west region of Cameroon, are also crying. They say that the road linking Penka Michel to the other parts of the Menua division is in a horrible state that has also affected social life, and most especially economically. They have been affected because they are unable to get their produce from the market in Balum to Penka Michel Center. We have details with Smart Njikan Gabriel.
Pushing of vehicles have become a regular exercise for those who ply the Penka Michel Balum stretch of road situated in Menua division of the West region. Passengers use more than 2 hours to cross the 15-kilometer long road. Since morning, we have been blocked here. The road is giving us a lot of stress as we have to push every day. After successfully passing on the poor road network, the vehicles must have a normal stop at the garage for checkup. We just changed this part not very long, but it has broken again. It's not just cars and motorcycles that suffer on the road, but also those moving on foot. Everything is not going well for us here. Look at the bridge that is broken here. We are forced to jump. Commercial bikes are refusing to take me because of the poor state of the road. Natives of Balum village say they are tired of promises made by politicians during campaign period which are never realistic. They are now begging on the authorities that be to come to their rescue because the road is the only means for them to transport their foodstuff to the main markets in town.
Since the institution of regional councils in Cameroon and the putting in place of regional houses of chiefs in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, there has been an offshoot of new villages in the Fako division, precisely in Limbe. According to our reporter in Limbe, Davison Maimo, the twist is affecting one of the villages in the Limbe Ward municipality. The villagers are divided. Some are advancing arguments that the village be split into upper and lower Bondo village of the Limbe 1 municipality. Their worries attracted the divisional officer to decide. We have details in the following report.
Hundreds of Cameroonians died in the First World War, fighting alongside Britain and its co-allied forces against the Axis forces. 102 years after, their enormous contribution to the Allied victory is still being honored. In this regard, the British High Commissioner to Cameroon was joined by high-ranking diplomats, officials from the Ministry of External Relations and administrators of the Southwest region at the 3rd Commonwealth Grave Site at the Limbe Botanic Garden to honor all those who died in the line of duty. Speaking to the press, Dr. Christian Dennis McClure said the importance of the day goes beyond those who died during the First World War.
To remember the sacrifices that people have made in conflict, and to remember the impact of war and conflict on all of us.
About the ongoing 5-year armed conflict in the Northwest and Southwest regions, the diplomats said they stand testament to the cost of war and conflict that their forefathers and mothers bear testimony to.
The impacts of war last a long time. and those that have been affected by that conflict, whether they are young or old, men or women, boys or girls, need to be remembered.
Remembrance Day is observed on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month every year by Commonwealth countries commemorating the end of the First World War, same day in 1918.
And we shall be coming back to the reports on the fight of villagers of Mukunda village in Limbe subsequently, but you rather watch the reports of homage and remembrance as paid to some Cameroonians who sacrificed their lives fighting sideways with British forces, French forces, and all other allies within the Allied forces in the First World War. They were fighting against the Axis forces. Now we take you on this cover shot to talk about the decision, the accusations of the senior divisional officer for the Bui division in the northwest region of Cameroon, who has accused absentee and irregular teachers in the Bui division of supporting and financing separatist activities in order to sustain the school boycott agenda. In a prefectorial order to the 6 divisional officers under his command, the senior divisional officer for the Bui division, Menyon Gilbert, demanded that names of all irregular teachers be forwarded to him. Meantime, and of course, the information gotten by Equinoxe News Desk also indicates a disturbing decision taken by the senior divisional officer for the Boyo division. And talking about the decision of the senior divisional officer for the Boyo division, still in the northwest region of Cameroon, some 54 teachers of his area of command who had their salaries suspended since May 2021 are still to begin receiving their salaries. Reports say that the teachers were accused of absenteeism and their salaries suspended by the senior divisional officer for the Buyu division, still in the northwest region of Cameroon. The teachers on their part say all procedures that leads to salaries suspended were all violated by the senior divisional officer. The teachers have also advanced the difficulties getting to work in the conflict-stricken Buyu division of the northwest region. They say that most of their colleagues have been kidnapped and huge sums of money paid as ransoms, and they are having challenges getting to teach in highly unsecured areas. But the senior divisional officer did not also follow the proceedings of calling them to order before proceeding to suspend their salaries. Since May 2021, they unfortunately have not received their salaries. Coming up with talking points, still of Equinoxe Television. Ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on Talking Points, we are receiving Dr. Richard. Of course, he is a youth leader and one of the key opinion leaders who've been fighting for a return to normalcy in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Thanks for accepting our invitation.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Recently, there have been calls, before we get into the issues affecting the northwest and southwest regions, recently there have been calls on most platforms on persons advocating and advancing the arguments that an Anglophone president in Cameroon can also be another way out of the conflict we witnessing in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. You and others have been very keen on finding solutions to this crisis. How do you see this possibility? How do you analyze it?
For me, thank you very much. The first thing is, I think that whoever is the president of Cameroon is not what matters. What matters is that person who is going to bring us development, that person who is going to give us good education, quality health facilities, and the others. So whether it's Francophone or Anglophone, from the northwest, southwest, east, and center, doesn't really matter.
But those advocating this point, they were like, okay, Anglophones, at the start of this crisis, we heard words like marginalization, not feeling belong to the Cameroonian nation and the Cameroonian family. An Anglophone at the head would give a different interpretation, will confirm that Cameroon belongs to everybody. And secondly, they came up with the second argument as to Anglophones are proving it in several sectors in Cameroon, at the general manager's level, at the level of the prime ministry, and so other levels, and so they can even work better even at the helm of Cameroon.
For me, I don't really think so. We have so many Anglophones who have held positions of responsibilities, but they have not delivered. I think that the person who can bring a change to Cameroon is that person who is selfless.
But look, okay, now in terms of look at the political parts of it. Politically, does it not tell different having an Anglophone at the helm of Cameroon?
I think if an Anglophone is there, first of all, Anglophones are known for their assiduity and hard work. That I must say. But if you put an Anglophone there and you do not change the system, nothing will change, because he will still be controlled by a certain system. So the person, the Anglophone who is there and who wants to work, must first of all begin by changing the status quo. As long as the narrative remains as we have it, nothing will change.
And we're talking about somebody at the helm of Cameroon. And when you're talking about changing the system, will the president not have the power already to put things the way he wants? What kind of system then should we be talking about that can be over the past of a president?
I think that the president, it's true that he can bring a lot of changes to the country, but still he will work with people, and if he works with people and the people are not willing to change, it will be very difficult for him. So if we have an Anglophone with a supportive team, things are going to change. But I still go back in saying that I don't really think that the problem of Cameroon will be resolved simply by having an Anglophone president.
That was going to be a political solution, because actually many think that what we're having in the north and southwest regions of Cameroon goes beyond economic difficulties, goes beyond bad roads, as you've seen the case of Babubok in Bangim. They say that it's a political problem too that needs a political solution. And now when you're talking about somebody who will be able to deliver, it looks like somebody who's been able to deliver all these things will still not have it if the person is not up to the political solution needed.
I think that the political solution needed for the problems in Cameroon have to do with the form of state, the form of the state. That is what I think. And it is not only about the individual, but changing a number of things. First of all, giving a certain autonomy to the regions in Cameroon. I think that is what is going to help us. And if we are talking about autonomy, what autonomy will help us to develop as a country? Because if it depends only on the president will need to work with so many other people. The president will need a whole lot of team. The president will need to work according to the laws of the country. So he cannot just get up and change so many things in a goal. He needs a very long time and a gradual process to change many things. So I think that what really matters is about a change in the mindset of Cameroonians, a change in the system that is governing us now, and if possible, a change from the unitary state to a federal state. That is what I think is a political solution to the problems of Cameroon at the moment.
And you are also a member of the African Youth Parliament and a civil society actor. Now, people are thinking solutions, and people are speaking when they have the opportunity to speak out what they think and actually just see people out of what they are currently living in now. And others have come up with this, going with the same narrative of a federation, talk about two states federations, but actually advancing a need for a change in the political capital of West Cameroon. For example, if we are to go back the two state federations, they should move from Buya, that initially was, to a place. Dr. Nick, for example, talks about Bachu, a village in the Manu division, closer to Manfi, as a political capital for a new West Cameroon. How is that different, and what can that possibly bring?
For me, I think that the solutions to the crisis in Cameroon goes beyond a two-state federation. First of all, we have three categories of Anglophone Cameroonians at this moment. We have those who want separation, we have those who are contented with the unitary system, and we have those who want federation. And inside those who want federation, we have those who want 10-state federation and those who want a 2-state federation. And I think that joining the Southwest...
You also forgot confederation.
Confederation, and those who want confederation. So I think that there are so many things that before we cannot just changing the capital city from Boya to Bacho may not be a solution. Changing maybe from Yaoundé to Ebebda
for a new
East Cameroon may not be the best. I think and I hold strongly that if we are going by federation, it should be a 10-state federation. Or better still, they could create other states or other regions, but all the 10 regions are different politically, economically, culturally, and otherwise. So I think that giving each region its autonomy is going to help us in a number of ways. Firstly, each region is going to develop itself according to its geopolitical situation.
But that 10-state federation you're talking about and that autonomy, how is it different from the decentralization we have now?
If you look at what is happening in Nigeria, each state is autonomous. Each state handles a number of issues.
The federal system in Nigeria?
Yes, the federal system in Nigeria.
Like the election of governors, for example?
The election of governors and municipal leaders.
So you're proposing the Nigerian-style federation to Cameroon?
That is what I think. Even though the form of state doesn't really change a country, what changes a country is the leadership, what the people hold. That is what the political will to change it, because even if you give us 2-state federation, 10-state federation, centralization and the rest, and you leave the system as it is, we may just be going around a particular circle.
But the north and southwest regions of Cameroon, they are particular in that they have the Anglo-Saxon identity. When those who advocate the 2-state federation, they are also raising the need for this identity to be preserved. You understand that in 2016 we had issues of the common law being threatened, the Anglo-Saxon system of education being threatened, and all that. It is important for them for the two should be together so these things can better be preserved. And you are actually talking about like giving a solution that will be the same for all the other regions, even while the Anglophone regions actually suffer a lot in the 5-year period and running.
Yes, I think that granted that the Northwest and Southwest are the same in many other aspects, but I still think that there are certain differences between the Northwest and the Southwesterners. Not minding the fact that all of us are Cameroonians and Anglophone Cameroonians, each region has a particular specificity that the other doesn't have. So I think that if you leave the Northwest independent, the Southwest independent, the West, the Center, just like that, each person is going to develop themselves by using their own resources and what is particular to them. So, and you know very well, as I know, that we have a lot of challenges as far as the Northwest and Southwest is concerned. They may be very subtle and very minimal, but they do exist.
And of course, which also exists in other regions in terms of, I mean, when you want to group in other regions of Cameroon, for example, but generally there is also need for Anglo-Saxon policy. You're talking about 10-state federation. I just want, before we go, I just want to confirm if it is the official position of the National Coalition for Development and Peace Projects in Cameroon, or your individual position?
It is my individual position. The National Coalition for Development is simply seeking ways of making Cameroon a better country.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your keen attention. Stay with Equinoxe. Interesting programs continue. We will be taking you to Yaoundé for the newspapers for the evening.